So yeah, so let's like play it again, but
Yes.
I'm gonna pause it a lot. Okay. And
Cool. Yep.
then we can kind of pick out the different scenes and stuff. So let's do this again. So we obviously have the TARDIS going through what looks like the time vortex.
Yeah, but if
Was
you,
there like a
sorry.
weird reflection there or something?
No, that's the train that we see later. That's the bullet
Okay.
train.
All
I did
right.
not notice that before until you paused it.
This is why we pause
This
things.
is why we pause
So
things.
okay, so the train, so there's some sort of a train that can go through. This might not even be the time vortex. This could be something else that it's traveling through.
Yeah, there's a the official synopsis, I think, calls it like a bullet train
Do you have the
traveling through
official
space.
synopsis there?
I can pull it up really,
You should read that.
really quick. Like, okay, the episode synopsis. Shall I read it?
Yes.
Action adventure in space and time for all families, starring Jodie Whittaker, Mandy Gill, John Bishop, Sophie Aldred, Janet Fielding, and Sacha Dhawan. In this feature-length special to mark her last adventure, Jodie Whittaker's 13th Doctor must fight for her very existence against her deadliest enemies, the Daleks, the Cybermen, and her arch nemesis, the Master, who's attacking a speeding bullet train on the edges of distant galaxy. Why are seismologists going missing from the 21st century Earth? Who is defacing some of history's most iconic paintings? Why is the Dalek trying to make contact with the Doctor? And just what hold does the mesmeric Rasputin have over Tsar Nicholas in 1916 Russia? The Doctor faces multiple threats and a battle to the death.
Interesting. So I usually read the synopsis for the books that we review on Star Wars Bookworms, and it's harder than it looks, isn't
Oh, it is definitely harder than it looks because I can't tell you how many times I've already read that and
it? You're still tripping
words.
over you.
I'm still tripping over it. But I mean, here's the thing. So I watched the trailer and I made notes and I was like, oh, that's interesting. This and this and this. And then I read the synopsis and I was like, they kind of spoiled the trailer. Like, I know, like all my guesses.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
like, oh,
They
okay.
kind
So
of
that's
confirm some things. Actually,
exactly.
I had not read the synopsis until you just read it to me. So there are definitely some things that I'm like, oh, well, okay. But
Yeah.
let's save the commentary for the when we get to those points of the
Yes.
trailer. Um, so obviously we have Jodie Whittaker here and the Master. So this is
Yeah.
the Rasputin, right? Like
Yes. Yep.
that's before I saw the synopsis, I thought I was like, oh, he looks like Rasputin. Now are they telling us that he like the historical Rasputin was the Master, or
I think they're doing that. I think they're doing what we love, where like Doctor Who gets injected into history and makes sense of things. Rasputin is such an interesting character, anyways.
right?
So, like, to be able to directly tie him to the Master, it's like, yeah, that makes sense. Really has trouble killing him. Like, he just kind of survived and survived. Kind of really mad and messed up in Psycho. Yeah, fits pretty well with the Master.
The only, I mean, I think you kind of have to say it though. Like his nationality wouldn't match the historical Rasputin, right?
I don't know. There are some pictures where it's like, I could see
Okay,
some
I
things.
don't know. I did watch like a documentary about Rasputin at some point, but I forget every detail. So I don't know like what his,
Oh,
his ethnicity or heritage
yeah,
was, but I assumed he was just straight up Russian or some European race.
yeah.
So
I
yeah,
it's better than it's better than my current main reference point, which is Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer. Like anytime Rasputin is mentioned, my mind immediately goes to Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer before it goes to any historical accurate references.
was
It's
he in
like,
that?
yes, he was.
I
It
love
was
that book, but I haven't read it in
incredible.
forever.
Oh, so good. So
Okay.
good. Anyway, sorry. Doctor Who, the master is Rasputin.
Yes. So now we have this is a more traditional time vortex, maybe
Yes.
very very Christmas lighty. They're
Yes.
talking about the world's leading seismologists. I have no guess as to what that has anything to do with
Nope.
anything the Doctor would be facing.
Nope.
but they show like
Earthquakes,
a
volcanoes.
volcano. We get Kate.
Kate.
That's we knew she was going to be in it, but we get to see some clips with her. This looks like. Well, I think they reveal who this is. Yeah, that's Ace.
Yes.
Okay. Um, so we're supposed to be excited about Ace being in it. Cool.
And we're back in an art gallery. So like two, in my mind, two very important times that we've been in art galleries. One was Van Gogh, and the other one was 50th anniversary special.
Curator.
Curator. And I want to know what picture is missing.
Hmm.
That's
Any
my.
any hope that the curator would make another appearance?
I did have hope that the picture would be Gallifrey Falls, and then it
Uh,
would be the curator walking through. I don't think we're gonna get that one though.
you don't
I
think
don't
so?
think I don't think that's gonna pay off.
Yaz and the Doctor on a cool looking planet. Almost looks like they're inside of some sort of quarry.
Yes, I'm very curious about those buildings around.
Yes,
Um,
Tron colored buildings,
yeah, yeah,
meaning dark black and that kind of cool blue that you see in like Tron stuff. That's basically what all the buildings have, that
right.
same coloration, very futuristic looking, almost a Star Wars esque kind of feel to it, but maybe more sci-fi than Star Wars.
I'm wondering, like, so yeah, we can play on. We can
Play on.
reference
All
this
right.
again. Yes.
Building exploding.
Unit? Is that a unit building? I'm trying to figure out what that symbol is right there. That Death Star that shows up in the lower portion of the screen.
Yeah, I was going to ask if that's a known symbol, or if that building is a known building that we should know by its facade. I
I
don't
know, right?
recognize it, but it's probably in England.
Uh, assuming so.
Doctor in the TARDIS. Well, assuming the Doctor pulling the lever. We got some characters. Looks like they're landing on the train that was going through that light. Um, I believe
Tunnel
this is the Doctor, Yaz,
and Dan.
Dan.
The typical spacesuits from the TARDIS
Yes,
make
this is where we
another
get our
appearance.
spacesuits. Although these are very red,
They are very red.
but we've gotten kind of the red version. We've gotten the orange version. So
We have several promo pictures of all three of them in spacesuits. So yeah, I think it's safe to say it's Dan. Yeah, yep. There's the Doctor. There's Yaz in the background, and then I think we get an exclamatory statement from Dan here shortly.
the Doctor says, "What a landing!" Dan
What a
does the
landing!
arms up, kind of like showing off. So everybody's staying in character.
9.9.
Yeah, and then here we see the TARDIS on, and they do show us a lot in this trailer. To give them credit for a short amount of time, they show us a lot. We see the what looks like the TARDIS on a planet or some sort of asteroid, maybe, because you can kind of see the stars and everything pretty
And
clearly.
there's mushrooms in the
And
background.
mushrooms,
Like, are
yeah,
those
some kind of
giant
fungus
fungus?
trees, yeah.
Yeah.
And
The
what else are
master
we talking
cleans up
about?
pretty well.
Yes, now the Master is not looking like Rasputin. Dalek incursion on Earth is imminent. Some Dalek scenes there, so you can't have a big special without Daleks, apparently.
Right. And who is this guy?
Yeah, we were speculating on if we would see him return. I forget. I think we had done some predictions on like how soon we would see him back. I feel like you might have been the one to guess that he'd be back sooner than later.
Well,
I thought there might be a wait, but here we go. What's his name? I'm forgetting.
Vendor.
Yes.
Jacob Anderson. His hair looks different than what the last time we saw it.
Yes, his hair looks different. He's very distraught, right in
Holding up
front
a
of the
cell
TARDIS.
phone?
Now he is also on the planet with the quarry and the bluish buildings.
Yeah, good call.
You
Good
can see
call.
that in the background. So
He is not where the TARDIS was previously with the mushrooms. We
right.
have
So
changed planets
he
suddenly.
should. It looks like he's gonna be sharing some space with the Doctor and Yaz,
Yeah.
because that's where they were seen as well.
Interesting.
Looks like this is still on the same planet if you look in the background of
Yep.
the TARDIS there, but you have the TARDIS with the sign on the front of the TARDIS with all ha 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 ha.
Yeah, very Joker-esque. I have no idea what that's doing.
Yeah, and why, this almost feels like it would be, no, I'm almost afraid to even say it just because it's such a stretch and I don't think it's connected. But this almost feels like this would fit in what's coming with the 60th anniversary and the idea of the toy maker and how he can
oh,
like manipulate, things like this feels like something that a character like that would do. Because the master hasn't necessarily been known to, manipulate what you can see, right? And
yeah.
this almost feels like it's a vision or a dream or something that somebody is going through, and that's why the TARDIS looks different. So who knows what the explanation behind it is. Now, so one thing to keep in mind, I guess things that we know will probably play a part is like the idea of of time being an entity,
Yeah.
and that the Doctor faced a time at the end of that last episode and kind of had that back and forth. And so maybe there is going to be some sort of a supernatural type of element to this episode. We did have some vision kind of stuff in those episodes, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So
Yeah.
how all that's connected, I don't know. But we do have this kind of this thing. So
Is that time? Is
that's
that
what I
time
was
manifested?
yeah, I was kind of wondering if this is if what we're seeing here. So this is like some sort of a it's kind of hard to explain without seeing it. So for people that are just listening to the podcast, I'm sure you've seen the trailer if you're listening to the podcast, or maybe you're following along. But there is this kind of crazy looking space entity that you would see in maybe like Star Trek: The Next Generation, like something they're trying to save. But yeah, it does look. I kind of thought that well, if there's going to be some manifestation of time as a being, maybe this is it. All the
Yeah.
threads, it kind of makes sense. You think of time as having different threads and they're connecting, and so maybe that's what this is.
Is that Earth in the background? So we're on a planet and then there's Earth back there?
So I don't think that's Earth because
Okay.
I think later in the trailer we see a couple different planets that are Earth-like, and one is
Yeah.
clearly the Earth, and one doesn't seem to have the same continent shapes.
Okay.
So I don't think what we're seeing here is Earth, but it does look like that same planet with the quarry and the buildings.
Yeah.
If you kind of look in the background, it kind of matches. Man, we're getting deep into this. I like the blow by blow review here. Yes. So the day you're erased forever, the master says.
And again, cleaned up master, but he's not in the TARDIS anymore, right? Like that's not the TARDIS.
No, this is some interior. It almost looks like a room that they're in, and it just makes me happy to see him. Sasha Dewan. I just love his version of the master.
This in this screenshot though, he has like such huge puppy dog eyes. It's like I kind of feel bad for him, even though he's saying something totally wicked.
Yeah, but the master, that's what the master is, right?
Yeah,
He's your best friend 1 second and he's your, the worst enemy the next. And I think he embodies the master so well. So
he
he
does.
may be my favorite version of the master.
That's that's saying a lot.
So yeah, the fact that he seems to be featured a lot. He's already been in the trailer a few times. I'm excited about that way more than I'm excited about Daleks. Okay,
Okay.
so this is what I was talking about, seeing the planets again.
Yeah.
Um, looks like there's a nuclear warfare or something going on between these two planets. They're like launching
So
missiles at each other.
yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's probably closer. The one thing that sticks out to me, like, do you remember the jail cell between the two planets with
Yes,
the gods battling? That's like the immediate callback in my mind. But I think you're right. I think they're more just launching things at each other in this. And then we have the mushroom planet in the foreground.
maybe these planets aren't supposed to be where they are, and they get pulled into this place, and then they see each other as a threat, and they start
I
fighting.
mean, how recovered is everything from the flux? Like,
You kind of forget about that, right? I
did stuff
almost
actually
forgot
get
about it.
put
Yeah,
back to where it was supposed to be after the flux? Like, how did that all work out? Maybe
that was kind
planets
of the
are just
open
all
question.
rearranged.
Yeah, that's kind of the open question, is like how much impact is there and how much was fixed.
Yeah.
Uh, I guess worth noting that this is seen from the fungus planet.
Yeah.
So there's that planet again. Two planets here that are absolutely not Earth.
Yeah.
The one on the left kind of resembles Earth, but definitely doesn't have the right continent shapes. So this is where we do see Earth
Yeah.
in this next scene where you have this, once again, this other planet, like kind of planet body, shooting what looks like a Death Star
I was
laser
gonna say that's no moon, that's a space station.
at Earth. So who knows what this is about?
Yep. It's powering up though.
Did you notice where the laser hits?
Where
Europe.
is that? Europe? Yeah, I mean that's definitely Europe. I don't know where though.
I was kind of thinking
On your
like they're hitting
keyboard, hit the comma. On your keyboard, hit the comma.
comma.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
to
can
like,
back up frame by frame. Where does it hit?
I mean, it's definitely,
Oh,
so it's kind of,
Germany?
it's almost Western Europe. I guess it doesn't really matter. This looks like it's like Planet Killer, so maybe it doesn't matter where it hits. But I just thought maybe there's a certain place maybe that they're aiming for. So I was thinking, oh, if it's hitting like Great Britain, then that would make sense. Like if there's,
Yeah,
something going on there, buildings or something that they're trying to take out. And maybe, we did see that building that was kind of blowing up.
collapsing
So
from the
maybe this is
top.
like part
Yeah.
of that. So I was kind of thinking, oh, I went too far ahead. But yeah, so but it doesn't look like Great Britain, right? That looks
No.
too far west.
Yeah.
East, sorry. Uh I meant to say east. But yeah. So okay.
A
We know this
shot.
guy,
Yeah, the lone Cyberman. He's
the
back.
Cyberman with half his face mask ripped off. The last time we saw him was the Frankenstein stuff, or did he
Uh
come back after that?
After that, because then we get to the timeless child episodes with the cyber masters and
Uh,
like all that happened there where we saw the timeless child go through ages and ages and ages as a little girl, little boy, all over the place.
all right, so we got this guy back, some Cybermen with him.
He's shooting, but I don't think he really shot at the doctor and Yaz as they're running through. I think he's shooting at someone else because he looked like he was in an office building.
Yeah, I agree. That's a quick cut to a different scene altogether, but they're trying to make it look like that's who he's shooting at.
Yeah.
But somebody's shooting at the doctor,
Someone's shooting, right?
and Yaz inside the TARDIS.
Right.
Which, wasn't there something in that, some part of the lore in the past that like firearms are automatically disabled within the TARDIS? Am I just making that up?
It sounds like it would be, but I'm not sure.
I thought that was like a story point sometime, but I could be completely wrong about that. But yeah, somebody's shooting at them.
Okay, look, because this is the one that stuck out to me.
Okay,
Look in the
so
lower left corner and look in the lower right corner.
oh, okay, so
Say what?
yeah, so we're back on the quarry planet with the Tron looking buildings. There's a planet off in the distance that I don't think is Earth, but I
I
guess
know, right? Those
it doesn't
continents
look
are a
quite
little
right.
right. Yeah.
Uh, we have that entity that we were saying could be a manifestation of time. It absolutely could not be as well. But that's
Yeah.
kind of a really far-fetched
Like
guess.
a weird space squid right now.
And it looks like it is firing some sort of laser type thing at the ground. Or maybe there are people up there it's trying to hit. I don't know. And then we have not one but two TARDIS.
Yes, the plural of TARDIS.
On the ground there. I did not catch that, and every other time I watch this trailer. So yeah, there's clearly the one on the right that I think is the one we had seen in previous images, but there's one kind of over there on the left as well. Oh, there's a person. You see that person? So if you look at where the steam is coming up
Oh
out of the
yeah.
ground and go to the left,
Yeah, there's a person
somebody
standing right there.
kind of running or walking.
Is there a person in a red spacesuit up on top of the hill where the laser beam is going towards?
There could be. There's definitely something up there that looks like it could be a person, but it's very small.
Yeah.
Wow, so much to glean.
That's I
This is probably not making for good podcast material, but we're having fun.
so like vendor.
Yeah,
Did Vendor get a TARDIS?
I don't think so.
Okay. Okay. I'm just trying to figure out why we have two TARDIS now.
I don't know. I mean, anytime you have a special, there's always that possibility, right, of there being some
Yeah.
sort of a crossover. So we have the fugitive doctor as a possibility. I would say
Fugitive Doctor is a possibility. Yeah.
makes sense that she would show up in in Jodie Whittaker's kind of goodbye episode because that's where she was introduced. So maybe
Yeah.
there's a reason for her to
And
be.
Time, like last time they were in that temple with Time,
I mean,
Fugitive
she was a
Doctor was
big
there.
a big part of the excitement
Yeah.
of this era of Doctor Who. So for them to bring her back, this is a good place for it.
Yeah.
And her TARDIS did look the same, right?
Yeah.
On the outside, it wasn't like they had a big difference externally. So that's my guess. If I'm guessing, if there's going to be a second Doctor in this episode, or it's just a warping of time, and you're going to see two Jodie Whittakers again. Who knows?
The to me that is the scene that makes the entire trailer right there.
It's the most interesting so far.
Yeah.
We just jumped past another. What was that? So they're kind of going through the train
Yeah.
light tunnel again. We have um is
Ace
that that's Ace? Okay.
in her jacket, like her
What's the
special
other, what's
jacket.
the name of the other thing?
Ace and Tegan.
Tegan, okay. So this looks like Ace and a parachute. And there's
There's Tegan.
okay, so we get
Grabbing guns.
yeah, they're shooting. So they're shooting at they're shooting at the Cybermen, but we do have a couple different types of Cybermen here, or is that the same guy?
See, at first I thought it was the same guy, but the more that I stare at the head, it looks like it's not missing a face mask. It
I
looks like
thought
it's
that I kind of thought that too, but now that I'm really looking at, I mean, it's
is
still
the hand a giveaway? Like
yeah, I think
the
it's him because
yeah,
yeah, the face mask, it's far enough away it's kind of hard to tell, but I think his skin tone is
yeah.
a little different there, so I do think it's the same guy. Um,
So the lone Cyberman with a crew. Again, he was shooting at someone probably in an office building, and here we have two people in an office building shooting at him.
that's who he was
And
going
Vendor
after.
saying it's a really bad idea for some reason because he's not in the scene.
Yeah, so he's going after the old companions.
The Death Star?
Yeah, so this is that. This looks like the planetoid that was shooting,
It
and
does.
a spaceship. So that must be Vendor, right?
Yeah,
Oh, it is
and
Vendor.
his
It says in the subtitles. So he's saying
captions.
it's a really bad idea. That's almost the equivalent. It is a very Star Wars esque scene. It's almost the equivalent of I have a bad feeling about this.
Bullet train.
Oh, Doctor and Yaz getting shot at again.
And they're running towards their TARDIS on
So,
the in the quarry.
so this makes sense that this is happening right before that other scene we already
Yeah.
saw, and maybe the firearms are shooting through the TARDIS door, and that's why the TARDIS didn't shut them down,
There you go.
if that's even a thing.
Explained.
I'm looking this up after because I swear that was a thing. Yeah, it's saying she doesn't want it to end. I think I missed something there. There's like a
Yeah, I don't know if that's an elevator shaft or what. Like, are they in the office building and so people went to the elevator shaft?
oh yeah. Is there somebody climbing it? Oh yeah, they're
Yeah,
like a ladder inside of like a what looks like an elevator shaft, but then there's
yeah.
also so they're being shot at most likely
Right
by
by
the
the
Cybermen.
Cybermen. Yeah.
We've already seen the whole episode, man. We got it all figured out. Uh
Yeah, saying she doesn't want it to end.
Now another man, how many different laser blasts toward planets and planetoids and from planetoids? Like it seems like there's a lot of that going on in this episode.
I think some of these are going to be like teleportation beams or something, right? Like they can't all be destructive laser beams. They're going to be like teleporting Daleks or something.
Maybe, yeah. And it's down on a planet once again that resembles Earth, but I don't think is Earth.
It's going to be bad when like all of these are Earth. It's just
Yeah.
the VFX artist did a terrible job with continents.
Or the continents are just all wrecked because of the
Oh yeah.
flux or whatever.
Yep.
Um, Oh, Daleks, my
There you
favorite.
go. They're back.
All right, and then we get the Doctor. We've seen this before. What looks like a regeneration, um, where she's yelling Yaz's name,
Yeah.
and I think that's it.
Yep.
Yep, that's it. So, what do you think? I mean, I think we kind of went through everything that we could possibly pluck out of that trailer.
Yeah.
Any, I mean, trying to piece it all together. It. I feel like they did show us a lot, but they didn't necessarily reveal a lot about the
Right.
story and how everything connects, which is
Right.
what a trailer should do, right? They should get you excited, show you some cool images, but not give away the plot.
Right. There's so Graham is missing. Um,
Mm. Oh, because you're expecting to see Graham?
well, no, it's just there's no farewell tour, right? Like my impressions of this trailer is the doctor's going out with a bang. Like there is not time to have this like sweet send off, this reminiscing of previous companions. Ryan and Graham aren't showing up. Like that's the impression that the trailer gives. Looking at what we just saw. That said, like Jodie has come out and said in the past week, like the monologue that Chibnall has written is like super tearjerker and all in one long take and all this other stuff. So it's like it's not just going to happen like that, right? Like she does have the opportunity to say things, but yeah, it's like there things are missing, and it seems super action packed.
Right. And if they, I mean, the fact that they showed two TARDISes is interesting because that it almost feels like that's something if you're gonna kind of hold some of that back or hide some of the big reveals, that's something you wouldn't include. But
Right.
maybe they include it on purpose just as a hey, let's just throw this out there to kind of hint at something exciting. Maybe there's like a really basic explanation and it's nothing at all. You know, maybe like I
Right.
said, it could be like a time loop thing where the doctor just goes from one TARDIS to the next and it's, you know, no big deal. And it's not a second doctor or anything like that. But at least by leaving that in the trailer, they're getting all the people like us that are going to click through and look at every
Yeah.
frame. They're going to catch those people's eye and, you know, get all the discussion and speculation going.
Yeah. That's I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. It's crazy to me to think again, and I mentioned already like two or three times, it's only 2 weeks away.